Welcome back to episode 7 of the Crack House podcast. This week we're going to be covering loads of different topics that have happened over the past week. So it's a bit of a Spitfire podcast.
Yeah.
Hawk 2.
I'm way more awake now today as well, because I slept in a bit more this morning. I usually get up around 11, but today I got up around 1 because I was like, fuck, last week I was in a
you were tired. Sure, look, you do night shifts, boy.
I was in a you know? Quickly, we'll do a quick run through of what we're going to go to today so people know. If they want to stick around, we'll be bother.
Surprises. Now let's go through them, because
it's just going to be...
I can run through it.
Yeah, go on. You give them a quick... Literally just say what it says.
Alright, so
say what it says.
The running order we have for today, for this week, is number 1 is Trump. Number 2 is Goggins and Strickland beef. 3 is Paddy. Paddy
Celebrating
Spain.
Cheeky
4 is McGregor messaging Poirier's wife. McGregor gambling. UFC Manchester.
Bums.
306 cards and McGregor's. I just have down here McGregor's penis.
Oh
yeah.
He's out there.
So I think the Trump story, obviously it's not exactly MMA, but he's such a
what a buzz
big,
this past few days over on Twitter and shit.
Unbelievable. He is a big fan of UFC and he's best buddies with Dana, so it is linked. It is linked.
But the buzz, the fucking drama off of that has been unbelievable.
Yeah, well, it is one of the craziest things to ever happen. The fact, like, I know it sounds a bit dramatic, but like the fact that the bullet could not have gone any closer to the man without killing him. I mean, the air got hit, so you can imagine.
The air got hit.
you can imagine how fucking close he was to being killed. And this is what's interesting, right? Whatever you say about Trump and his character, I know there's a lot of people dislike him, right? And I don't know enough about, like, I don't listen too much to politics. I don't listen to his talks and stuff. But I think a lot of people in the last few years have gotten so pissed off with the blatant puppet show that Joe Biden is. The Fiend can't string 2 sentences together. So you can't say that man is actually making decisions about running the biggest the biggest powerhouse in the world. Like
Alex Jones, actually, I love Alex. Do you know Alex Jones?
Yeah, Alex Jones is hilarious.
I love
the deep
Alex.
State.
Yeah, I love Alex Jones, and a lot of he's a smart fucker. But a lot of the shit. He came out and said he reckons they're going to try and kill Biden next, and blame it on all Trump supporters, and then they're going to poison Trump.
I think that would have been a better move if they got Biden killed and started saying the Trump supporters.
They really need Trump out of there, though, when you think of it.
Because he's going to win.
Real.
But what I was going to say, about his character, right? So, like, he has loads of flaws. Obviously, he says some crazy shit. And like we say, when I was on the podcast the other week, I was saying, I don't like UFC fighters who are, being overly disrespectful, because, people look up to those individuals. But one thing I do appreciate about Trump, especially after what happened the other day, is that you have to say he's a genuinely authentic person. He's not bullshitting who he is, right? No. Which loads of politicians do. And that was shown in the fact that he always talks about, being strong, being tough, being resilient. And Dana White always says how much of a character and strong character he is. The guy's obviously successful. But that was like, when we talked about McGregor's Khabib moment, where like all the shit talk, and then when Khabib had him up against the cage,
he was like, it's just
business.
Yeah.
I've never been shot or shot at, right?
Yeah.
But I can imagine in those moments, your instinct is to cower and get to fucking safety.
Bounce.
The man got hit with a bullet in the air, and 5 seconds later told his fucking Secret Service, get out of the way, and put up his fist and started saying, fight. I mean, that is going to
TikToks. I'm after saving by fucking edits, and then just the beat drops, eagle noise, then Trump gets up. I'm not even American, I'm home.
But can you imagine, can you imagine being shot and getting up when there could have been other shooters there or anything, and he wanted to fucking, I think it was 3 or 4 times he tried to push the Secret Service out of the way to turn around and fist pump and fucking fight. It's the most iconic picture you would ever see.
Fucking slap.
I keep thinking of the photographer, because but
see, this is what's making me think it's staged, boy. Originally, see, this is the craziest thing about the whole Trump shooting for me is not the fact that Trump was shot or all this, is the fact that how easily people just believe the first narrative they see. Like the fact that people actually think it was just a random guy.
I don't think people do anymore.
No, but a lot of Americans are retarded. But so many Americans think that some random guy got up in the building and just shot. And like I was just, boys, this is the most planned thing I've ever. See the video that came out then, and then the Secret Service, like just 10 seconds before, moved a load of people from behind Trump. Oh, go over there, and then next thing, bang, bang, bang. You're thinking, wait a second.
Yeah.
Initially, I thought that Trump was in on it, and it was a PR scheme.
You thought it was actually fake, like
I thought it was
WWE.
fully fake, but that's because I saw a video where it was chopped so that he gets shot and he goes down, and then 2 seconds later he's back up and he's like that. And I was like, oh, that's not a normal reaction. That's too quick. And he didn't look like he felt he was in danger. Then I seen the long form one, and he actually gets shot and he's down for a couple of minutes with bodies on him, and then someone comes over and they're like, oh, the shooter's down, and then he kind of gets up a bit weary.
Yeah, but even the fact they said the shooter's down, like I said, it
even
doesn't mean
still,
there isn't more shooters there, right? Because
no, but that was my whole thing. It's like, even still, right? Let's say, for instance, that he didn't know about it, and he genuinely did believe his life was under threat. The Secret Service members should all be sacked. Surely surely when he says, wait, let me stop and get a few words out, surely their initial job should be drag him down low, drag him to, and see all the shit about the old dolls.
But yeah, I know, I've seen that. Yeah.
On Twitter. Have you seen that?
Yeah, trying to put the gun back
saw
in
the
the
girl,
holster.
yeah,
and
saw
all
that.
No,
one
but
with the
like
girl,
so
yeah,
much
that's kinda
stuff about the female team. They're all like that now. They don't know where to even stand. And then one of them's going to put her glasses back on. And I'm
Well,
like,
I think
here.
the people that were in the immediate vicinity that jumped on him, that's fucking brave. They jumped on him when the gunshots went off.
Unless they were all new, boy.
Yeah,
Who
but-
knows? Nobody knows what happened.
But I think the biggest or the craziest thing about it is, like, you know, you imagine when they're doing, because they would go to these places days or weeks in advance of the event, and they'd be looking at, like, okay, what are the potential threats in the area? And I think there was like four roofs in the whole like area of where he was speaking. And how the fuck someone is able to go climb up onto a roof with a rifle, get their way into a place where they can take a shot or 6 shots or whatever it was straight at him. It doesn't make any sense.
There was people in the crowd videoing him before he shot.
Shouting, yeah.
They're literally like, "What the fuck is your man doing?" If they
boys.
can catch him and see him.
But did you see that fucking Jesus guy who made the prediction like
weird.
3 months ago about Trump getting shot
In the ear.
That's
Very
way
strange.
too accurate.
And see all the conspiracy stuff about, like the stuff on Twitter when Trump gets shot, the one guy in the crowd behind him who just like almost act like everyone ducks and he's just like,
There's a few of them though.
watching.
There's one about an old dad as well.
Maybe I saw her one too, but like,
But in those moments as well, you don't know what,
wouldn't know,
because
boy,
you
there
might
could
even
be-
think it could be fake. You might in that moment you mightn't believe what's happening.
I think
you know, it's
everybody
like-
underestimates, the biggest thing about this whole thing is everyone underestimates how far and the US government are willing to go to get what they want.
But it's
like-
not the US government, it's the
Well,
fucking
I know,
deep
but like the
state, bro.
deep state
You
is
listen to Alex
behind
Jones,
them. It's
boy.
behind them. But like, there genuinely is no holes back. Like, there's no rules. Like, there's no. They don't like. It does not like. I fully believe that there's nothing that they wouldn't do.
Did you see the video that Andrew Tate put up? Like the day after.
Going mad and
He
shit.
says it went viral, and he was just saying that I've been telling everybody.
I saw a few of them.
He's like, first they'll try to arrest you.
Yeah, but he's on about that for ages.
Yeah, he's saying that for ages.
He's saying that for years.
No, sorry, he said first they'll try and cancel you, and then they'll try and arrest you, and if they can't do either of those, they'll try and kill you.
Yeah.
So that's just been going viral because he was just reacting to the
And
Trump
Alex
stuff,
Jones
like.
was saying that the next, and boys, his track record of being on point is frightening.
Yeah.
Like frightening.
Except for one or two things he went.
Yeah, of course, but that's always the way that he got fed misinformation, and that was the whole point. No, he's kind of always labelled as this crazy cunt, but sure, that's perfect. But like he said, the next thing is poison, or what's he said, truck bomb.
Yeah, fucking
For Trump or for
Trump. He was like the next port of call now is poison.
Do you know the whole thing like about like the other side would say like Trump's a lunatic, he's crazy. If he gets back into power, he won't relinquish it. But like in the 4 years that he was in office, I think that was the only 4 years that there was no like active wars that America were involved in.
But this is what I'm saying.
Like since he left, like the war in Ukraine,
but this
Israel, Palestine, the genocide.
it's
in
the whole
fucking
argument.
Palestine.
You know how even it was on Joe Rogan's thing. Like I was listening to Joe Rogan a couple of nights ago, and this is before obviously Trump had been shot, but he was talking to some other fella about conspiracies and shit like that, and he was like, "Do you understand that? Do you know how many trillions and trillions of dollars have been made over the last 2-3 years because of the wars?
Yeah, because the
Americans make
complex by the money.
Trillions. So you know if the wars stop, they don't make any more money. Like there's an always ongoing incentive for they want to have a war, and they know if Trump gets back in office, you know, as a president, he has the power to pull everything out of Ukraine, and he can actually stop the war. And they obviously they can't let him get in and do that, because if he does, all the money is gone.
Yeah.
So that's why they will kill him. I reckon they'll get him. I reckon they don't give a fuck now. I
But
reckon they already know now. People know it's them. They're going to
Another thing that will happen if he does get killed though, or if he did get killed yesterday, is like there would have been
It's going to go a civil war.
Yeah.
But even Alex Jones, that was his whole video. He was like, people don't realize how close we are to the fucking end of the world. Like,
Yeah. millimeters by.
Right, we need to move on because that's already about 10 minutes.
It was crazy. Yeah, I think again, see how it unfolds. It's still early days, but one other interesting point in it, right? So I have a friend who I was working with in London, and he was big into conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And I don't even like calling them conspiracy theories because fucking a lot of them come into fruition. But he would have been saying, and I'm always interested in these things, but he would have been saying to me when COVID first came out in China, he was like, this will be here within a year. And we'll have lockdowns on the streets, the military be there, you won't be able to leave your area, you'll have temperature checks. I was like, that's so interesting, but like, yeah, good luck. And like, yeah, that's a bit mad, you know. And then we were in Manchester, UFC London got cancelled. Darren Stewart's fight got moved on to the Cage Warriors card in Manchester. We went up, and me and this gentleman went into fucking Starbucks and he was ordering a coffee, and the young fella behind the counter was like, oh, we can't take cash. And he was like, what do you mean we can't take cash? So why? Because COVID, we can't take cash. And he was like, you're standing 2 feet away from me talking to me. You're making me a coffee, but you won't take my money. And your man was like, young fella, he was like, yeah, I just can't take it. Like, and he was like, think of the world you're making for yourself. And he took the fucking coffee and walked out. But he said to me on Thursday, robbed it, yeah. Took it. Well, they wouldn't take his money, to be fair to him. But I was talking to him on Thursday, and I was just saying, like, you know, would you still be interested in all that? He was like, yeah, I'm listening to stuff. He said, a few lads I listen to predict something big's going to happen. Probably Monday, like Sunday, Monday, something's going to happen. I was like, in what regard? Like, what's something big? Like, he was, it could be something to do with the war in Ukraine, could be something to do with the genocide in Palestine, with the election in America. And that's what he said to me. But I texted him Sunday morning. I was like, this is fuck. I swear to God.
Oh, but them boys are this shit is you're able to telegraph this shit as well.
But
people out there who like
analysing fucking trends and that, and
it's like
I don't know, it's fucking mad, but it's mad. But again, we could talk for an hour on that because it's so, and it's going to get more and more interesting as the days go on.
We'll touch back on.
I can't wait to hear what Trump says when he comes out and speaks, because
he's put up a few tweets. But see, he was playing golf next morning.
Yeah,
he was out on the golf course next morning when not about him tipping
but
away.
some poor cunt got killed then as well. Some poor fucking behind him.
Because the story wouldn't be believable. This was another thing. Everyone was like, "Oh, it has to be real because an innocent person got killed, or because the American government would never kill someone."
Again, the deep state, deep state.
They're all
those crazy cunts. But yeah, I saw as well, Goggins and Strickland had a bit of a beef during the week.
Really, really rubbed me the wrong way.
Why?
Because I'm Goggins' super fan.
Yeah.
And Strickland is just being a retard. Like the last 6 months, and he's just after turning me off him by.
Yeah, I would say that
tides are turning.
He's got a lot of issues, and he can't seem to just shut his mouth. He wants to always be in fucking public eye, and always wants to be like, his point was that like Goggins is just a runner. He's not actually tough like you. Like, he was saying MMA fighters are the toughest human beings on the planet, which I agree with.
But there's different scales.
Exactly,
there's different measurements,
different ways to be tough. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. His whole argument makes no sense. And to be fair, Goggins just put up a video being like, look, if you wanna, you can train with me for 3 days. See, can you keep up with me? And then after that, I'll have a fight with you. Which in my mind, I was like, okay, that's a fair fucking offer. Like, it's a fair trade. And if Strickland comes out, you know where I train, come down. But sure, that wasn't what he said at all.
Exactly.
He said, you try and do what him and Tony did.
Yeah.
Train for days and days and see how you get on, and then he's going to go into your world, and so it's 50-50.
I think.
And then he comes out with a video just being like, you're a fucking fraud and here. No one has a fan base like Goggins. I don't give a fuck if you're Strickland, if you're anyone. And I think Strickland shit himself. The tide started turning, and he comes out with in the video. Then a few hours later, sorry.
Yeah, I'm after getting my head back. He says,
yeah, go away, you fuck.
The fairest way to settle the debate between the two lads is to put them into something that they don't have a clue about. Do you get me?
Neither of them are
good at,
competent at.
Yeah, that's the fairest way.
The fairest,
like a fucking basket weaving competition.
Well, no, the fairest way is to do one of each.
No, I think because it should be something that is like so far out of both their comfort zones.
But
no, I don't.
But the thing that you think, right?
Their argument is that neither, like Sean is saying, that
everybody knows Sean can't keep up with Goggins in his world.
100%, but then Goggins can't keep up with him. That's what I mean, so it's pointless.
No, it's not though, because you'll
it's just going to be 1-1.
Yeah, it's going to be 1-1, but that's all people want to see. Nobody wants anything to get settled. Everyone knows it's going to be 1-1, but they just want to see it. I know that it's going to be 1-1.
It should be something that's just really scary.
And I also want
Strickland, something really scary.
I want Strickland to lose as well. That's what I want.
Fighting a shark.
Yeah, fucking something that's gonna like get the heart going. Bit of adrenaline.
You know, everybody knows.
Like, who's gonna pussy out the first?
Everybody knows that Strickland would beat Goggins 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000 in fighting. But you could be like, well, you never know with the fitness stuff because you don't. That's
but
the
how many
interesting
pull-ups could
fact.
Strickland do, do you think?
No, but that's the interesting part is like people want to see Strickland get humbled.
And are they the same weight? Would you think they'd be similar weights?
No, Strickland's bigger.
Yeah, so therefore a fight is
But not that
already
much bigger.
disadvantaged. Like,
But that's what I'm saying. People just want to see Strickland get humbled because they know Goggins could do it to him.
But
That's all they want. No one wants to prove who's tougher because the boys are both equally tough in their own regard.
so have they agreed on anything as of yet?
They're not going to bother, I don't think.
Yeah.
Should be. Oh, this would be. I'm gonna say this. This should be a good shout. If Dana ever sees this in the next week or two,
Callum,
he should put them
send it to him.
both into power slap.
Oh,
That's retarded. Because
no,
Strickland would just knock him out. Strickland would knock him out with one slap.
because,
think?
because
100%.
Yeah.
That would be kind of fair.
it's not fair because Strickland is a trained fighter.
Yeah, definitely.
And his chin is trained. He takes shots every day of the week.
It'd be more
Goggins
fair.
is about 60
Imagine though,
and he's going to get
alright, how about this?
smashed.
Goggins gets the first slap.
No, it still makes no difference.
Goggins
Goggins couldn't throw a slap to save his life.
Probably not. Probably
Couldn't. By Strickland
Say
would
he
take his head clean off.
He said in his video that he knows how to box.
That Goggins does.
Goggins said it himself.
Yeah, but no one out the
Goggins-
box and being a fucking.
Goggins knows how to box
champion
because he
UFC
spars
fighter.
and probably never gives up.
Yeah.
And gets the odd shot when your man is
But the
tired or
guy,
something.
that Navy SEAL that Strickland bought in to try and prove.
But sure, that's stupid as well. Like, I
He
didn't like
flogged
watching
your man.
that.
He
And
was
it was
lousy by it. But your man did stay the 5 rounds and he was.
But,
yeah.
but this is the whole thing. They tried to make it out like a cool thing, like, oh, you're really tough because you fought the whole time, and Strickland, you're really tough because you beat him up the whole time. You're both equally as annoying now as each other, as
Yeah.
retarded, because
Well,
you proved nothing, really.
Your man didn't fight the whole time. Your man was just cowering in the corner.
That's what I'm saying.
Strickland was kicking
That
the
was
legs off him.
actually, it was a sad thing to
was
see.
lousy, yeah.
Like, that doesn't prove toughness to me. That just proves that you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Why would you voluntarily get beat? Like my whole thing is the fact that Navy SEAL now let himself get beat up for 25 minutes because he felt like he had to prove something. That goes against that. That just cancels out the toughness. The fact you even felt like you had to do that in the first
but the
place
Navy
is
SEALs,
like you're not that tough then. Because if you were tough enough, you'd be like you wouldn't even take any acknowledgement of
I
Sean.
know,
like.
but the Navy SEAls are built on that kind of, like, they do shit for the sake of just doing it. Like, they'd be getting woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning, running 40
Yeah,
miles
but
with
that's what I'm
backpacks
saying.
and-
So why did he feel like I have to get beat up by Sean Strickland to prove myself? You don't.
Well,
Like,
I think he was trying to represent the Navy SEAls, like saying, like, fuck you, Sean, like, I'm going to show
he
you how
just got
tough we are.
beat. That's my whole thing. But
And he also probably got very famous off the back of it as well, or a bit more
maybe
famous,
that was a
you know.
motive, but if that's the only one that makes sense, because other than that, he just got bait for no
Yeah,
reason.
but people would do things, boy. People do things to get fucking
So strange,
clicks,
boy.
like. Before the podcast, you were saying to me, did I see Paddy the Baddy celebrating? And I hadn't seen it, but it makes
So-
no sense to me why he would
so-
do that.
Well, because apparently I don't know fully, but apparently
So say what happened
Scousers-
before.
So yeah, Paddy the Baddy before the England final, the Euro final, was like, I hope England lose, like, and everyone's like, what? But apparently, because he's a Scouser, apparently Scousers feel like their own nationality, like against the English almost. They're always apparently disrespected or whatever, and loads of stuff has happened over the years. So
Fuck the Tories.
Paddy was in the pub with all the boys when Spain won, and he just put up, I don't know if he put it up on his Instagram or what, but it's all over internet. He's just like, yeah, celebrating, and all the English fans are just sitting there like, what the fuck? You can tell they're looking up thinking like, he's a cheeky cunt. But they can't do nothing because he's obviously who he is.
We spoke about why so many people dislike Ian Gary, and I think Paddy the Baddy is almost as disliked
He's turning.
as Ian Gary. For a while now, though.
Since
For
it
a
was,
while.
it was since the Gordon fight.
That's not going to do any favours, because his
Oh, no.
only fans were probably
No,
the
the
UK
English
fans that
boys,
wanted
the
to get
England.
behind
No, I
him.
was only saying to the lads before we shot the podcast. I even think we could go as far as to say he's going to get a lot of boos in Manchester when he comes out. I'm
Well, if he
telling
was,
you,
yeah,
this
yeah.
video is circulating a lot, and the one thing the English hold above anything else is the football.
Yeah.
And he's after disrespecting the whole country. I feel like, weird inkling, he could get a lot of boos in Manchester.
And he already has a very hard task at Bobby Green, because Bobby Green.
But he's
He's a
been kind of on a
cool scrap
slow
up.
decline since the Gordon fight, where he lost but got the decision, and then this whole English football thing, and Bobby Green is also beloved. That goes against him as well.
Yeah.
You'd say something if he had a shitty opponent. People
He
love
changed his name. Did you see that?
who
Bobby Green.
to what?
King Green. Officially changed it, like,
right, when recently
last week. He changed
Fuck.
his first name to King.
Bobby King Green.
No, just
That-
King.
that-
Just
but that-
King Green.
but that
He
was
got rid of
his-
Bobby.
That was his like stage name.
Yeah, but he legally changed
Got
it
rid
to
of Bobby.
King Green.
I love Bobby Green.
Yeah, he's a legend.
King
man.
Green.
And he's been around for years and always comes to fight. But it is like, if Paddy has a good game plan, gets him to the ground, I don't think Bobby will be able to do much against him on the
But I think
ground.
Paddy was trying to stand him back. I love Bobby's style, hands down. Come on, son.
If Paddy knows what's good for him, and if his corner team, which I think, like, you know, the lads in the lads in fucking, I can't remember the name of the gym now.
I think
They're good. They're a good team, and they should advise him not to, because Bobby Green is too slick, man.
And I think he will take their advice. I think before he wouldn't have, but since the Gordon fight, I think they were like, right, we need to tighten up because you actually will get beat.
Yeah.
What's your man's name? Gordon what?
Next Generation. I was wrecking my head.
Next
Generation.
What's your man's? Is it Anthony Gordon? No, that's the footballer.
No, Jared Gordon.
Jared Gordon.
Yeah.
It's Jared Gordon. Yes, since that fight.
I did feel that was a very unfair decision, but I thought Jared won that fight.
It was lousy.
Yeah.
He definitely won. Right, we will move on. So, neither of us have seen this. Have you? No, I haven't seen
McGregor gambling. No, but
no, the messages.
No, it's the McGregor messages. Sorry.
Apparently, McGregor sent Dustin's old all like explicit DMs or something.
No, but like, so ever since the shin break, I've always wondered what that comment was about when McGregor said, "Your wife's in my DMs," and I haven't seen any DMs between him and Dustin Poirier's missus, but no, he's
doing some research here now.
Apparently sent them. So, but the weird thing about this is that McGregor has a wife as well. Like, is he married to Dee, or is he just?
But I think they have the weirdest thing ever going. They're kind of like business partners, no, I reckon.
I think so, like Posh and Bex.
Like that's gone beyond. Like,
yeah,
it's very strange the way they be carrying on inside the club.
But what would he be saying?
Licking each other. And
so, what did he say to Poirier's wife?
Can you find it?
Trying to find it now.
Rob could have had a dream like he made this up.
It wouldn't surprise me though, because they've been going back and forth. Yeah. Like Dustin Poirier had that comment saying, when McGregor said everything I touch turns to gold, and Poirier goes, touch that pinky toe. But see, I'd say McGregor is fuming that he won't ever. I don't think he'll ever get a shot again at Poirier.
No, he won't. Poirier would smash him as well.
What is it, Luke?
Well, this is just a screenshot from a tweet. I think McGregor was responding to Poirier on Twitter, and Connor said, "Your wife wants to see the hair around my dick and balls, bro."
Jesus Christ, boy.
See what that's like. It's real. The message request, mate. No trash talk. Man to man. It's fucked up. I seen your interview with Mike. You think it was fake. It's not. Have a think on it in the sauna anyway.
Have a think on it in the sauna.
He is actually
this
so
was actually
funny
from 2021 though.
But see, that's what I mean,
so
because
funny,
that was after the fight when he said your wife's in my DMs, bro.
She wants to see the hair on my balls.
But you know, like again, like I think we were saying about the Gary and Layla thing. You were saying,
oh, but that's the whole thing about
let's
your
go,
wife's in my DMs.
Let's go straight to McGregor's penis after this.
Rob Collins going,
because there's no point going through them all and then going to penis. We'll just stay on McGregor and talk about his fucking fake knob, because there's 100% the picture he put. It'll be on screen.
Do you know what it looks like? It looks like, do you know the mannequins?
It looks like he has the cup on.
If you pumped up the mannequin's groin area,
it looks like he has the cup on, and if you zoom in the edit, you can see, right? If you look at the jock line, from where the jocks are supposed to meet the leg, there's a gap. That's how much this is bursting through the seam. The jocks aren't even touching his leg. There's a gap there. So he's obviously has something in there busting.
Well, there was a lot of rumours when he was doing the weigh-in against Mayweather that he had a semi, because that was another time.
But even if he had a semi in this picture, it's there's too much stuff in there. Unless his ball bag now is the size of fucking.
I think the only thing to do, lads, the only thing to do is go up to the Black Forge and
whip his jocks when you see him.
Just grab him, mate. Just grab him by the balls.
He's a freak. But why would you post that and he's horned off his head by?
Look.
Do you ever see this? He always puts up the weird horny shit with a weird caption, like weird fucking.
Yeah.
But I caught him last week. Do you know Sydney Sweeney, the actress?
Oh, he was liking up the few pictures.
She uploaded a couple of mirror selfies now on Instagram, and it was only up about 15 minutes. And I saw McGregor all over the likes.
Oh,
so he's always up to that.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah,
McGregor liked Sydney Sweeney's Instagram picture.
But there's been many times that I thought, like when he's with one Rowdy Beck, you know, the boxer.
No. Who promotes Elle Brooke in Misfits?
And he'd be fucking arm in arm with her, and like.
Yeah. Well, that's very obvious.
They'd be kissing and all they do.
He'd be smooching.
But look, he's a fucking unique character, and he's gone a bit mad since, as we said, I think he always had that streak in him, but I think since he got the Mayweather fight and things went, like we spoke about it the other week, but he's just gone a bit.
What happened to him as well is he started fighting so like far in between each other that like he's so much free time. And he's just gone demented. Like he's nothing to be doing. You know, when he obviously used to be in camp, he's like, right. You know, like fellas like him, even sometimes I can be the same, not to his level, but I get hyper fixated on things. But have you ever had like a few months there where you're doing nothing? And you're gone mad? Because you're actually having, if I have nothing to be like.
But did you ever hear of Olympic depression?
Yeah, when they're not.
When they finish the Olympics, they get the press.
But it's like athletes when they finish, when they retire, it's like what the fuck.
Like, you can
have
imagine when he was on the way up. I remember that video when he was in Cage Warriors. It was very early. He was like, I'm gonna be the 2-way UFC champion, have more money than I know what to do with, and all that. And he's like,
my old dad's gonna have a car for every day of the week and shit. But fellas like him, like he's at home now, and not after fighting in years, he was probably watching UFC and he's bored. And he's like, fuck, I'm just gonna go on Twitter and start giving boys golf. Like, you know, when he's so bored and wired, he's like, what can I do? I'm gonna put up a picture there of my fucking knob on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm gonna put on a grind guard.
Or when he goes on the voice note rants, you're like, his head's just fried.
I know Keane Cowley, the fella one of my old opponents is a training partner here, so I could message Keane. I haven't talked to him in a while. It'll be a random message. Is that really McGregor's knob? Because he's probably seen it in the changing room. Like,
but as I put my life, and there's no way there's just a penis and
imagine
balls
if you
in
put
there.
it down and it was just like a mannequin thing, but it was pumped up like.
He's so funny, and he wasn't even from Earth.
Inflatable jocks, man.
Inflatable jocks, yeah, that's a good pump. And then
the McGregor gambling thing, but we just skipped. I don't even know what that is.
Well, I think the fact that he's
go on.
That he's been betting big on, he bet big on Nate Diaz and won. He bet big on Spain and won. But this is something that like you could say is like an issue. But Callum said when he was on the podcast, made a great point. With gambling, you win or you quit. And if you have deep pockets, I mean, if McGregor lost 86,000, he doesn't give a fuck.
But the whole thing with this is it's not even his money. What people don't realise is that it's just a gambling site endorsement. It's just an ad. He puts up, this is what they do.
Same as Drake.
No, it's the same as Drake with stake. You know, none of these fellas are actually betting.
But that should be illegal by if they're pretending they're betting, no? Because they're not making people think.
But they're betting, but they're getting it back, and it's like they're betting, but then they're getting paid. It's in their contract that they just get paid. Like he's not just betting. Like,
they're probably getting free bets.
So he won't be able to withdraw the million.
No, and he probably could. Like he probably did bet it, but they probably paid him the $100,000 to bet. Like as part, like saying if he's getting $1 million for the deal, he's getting $1 million and $100,000. You can whatever way they work it. These fellas are just getting paid by the ads people. It's like Drake with stake. You know, he always puts up a screenshot. He bets $1 million on this. But like what it really is it's actually an ad for stake. It's an ad for the betting company.
Okay, but then I'm trying to.
Do you get what I'm saying?
What I'm trying to get at is like if he puts down, they give him $100,000 to do the ad, and he puts the $100,000 or whatever.
No, he's getting millions to like, you know how, like, you know, every celebrity in the last 2 years, it's the biggest thing. They all get approached by the gambling sites.
Yeah.
For millions. Like Steve will do it with all these sites, stake, everyone. How many fighters, even Tabata, with every UFC fighters with prize picks and stuff like this. Like before every big card, they put up a screenshot. This is what I'm going with for my prize picks. Here's my picks. Like they're all getting, like the amount of money behind the online gambling stuff in America now is insane. So McGregor's getting 10 million, probably millions for putting up betting stuff for this place, and it just has and even in his caption, I'm sure he was like, "This is my bet with at." Whatever betting site.
So he actually tags them and say,
yeah, you get it's all like an ad. It's all an ad.
Well,
you know?
I don't think he has a gambling problem after hearing that information. I think he's just making some peas, but he's so fucking smart as a businessman. He's had so many balls in the air and he's making so much money. Godspeed to him with his lovely Mickey. And
you should never gamble unless it's a banker.
Yeah, gambling definitely has a lot of fucking downsides. But if people makes people miserable,
unless it's a banker. I've seen Steve will do it to that before. It was so funny. Someone's trying to help him because he has gambling issues.
Or unless you're a multi-millionaire and you have,
but he has
so
gambling
much money.
issues, and everyone was like trying to talk to him. Man, he's doing a dead serious video, and everyone's like, you know, gambling. He's like, yeah. Look, and he's like to people at home, just gamble, just don't gamble. Unless it's a banker. Unless it's a banker.
But you know, I heard before that when it comes to treating addictions, like gambling is the hardest one, because they say, like, let's say if you're addicted to fucking coke, whatever, you know, you do it, and the reason you go to get help with it is because every time you do it, it ends up having bad consequences on your life. So you might fucking fall out with your missus, you might fucking get arrested or whatever. So then they'll try to get you to fast forward the tape and be like, look, you know, when you do this, like, where it ends up. So try use that like sequence of thoughts. Like if you're going to if you get the urge to do it, fast forward the tape to what's going to happen in 2 or 3 days time. But with gambling, because of that reason, right, like they've all experienced the times when they have won, so they're like, you can't tell me I won't.
You're hunting because it's happened. They're chasing that one win. Yeah,
so it's meant to be very hard to treat the gambling addiction.
Even Joe Rogan has come out before and said it's the saddest addiction he's ever seen. It's it's probably the worst addiction he's ever seen.
Do you know the amount of professional footballers that are fucking gambling addicts, but they have to get help for it?
Fellas
they're
lose their
like,
lives by
they're on
gambling.
so much money and they have nothing to do like that. They train. But I was over in Gillingham years ago. John Egan was playing for him at the time, and I was living in London. So I went down to watch a game, and afterwards we went out. It was the last game of the season, and John was telling all the boys that I'm a Thai boxer, and they were like, "Oh yeah, what's that like? What's the training like?" And I was telling them the training, and they were all looking at each other. Looked at me, they were like, "How much do you get for that?" Like, I was like, "Oh, you get like £1,000 a fight." They were like, "What the fuck?" And then they told me their training by is like, you know,
Footballers.
oh my god, but they're such relaxed. They do like recovery session on the Monday, watch the video of the match on the Monday night, then they'll do tactical session on the Tuesday morning, then they might do a bit of running or a tough session Tuesday night. But she's playing football
a lot of the times if I'm ever training fighting, or if you're up there hitting the pads or whatever, and even remember the time we were up in SPG by training, and we were up against the wall and taking turns and getting body shots. What's your man's name again? Who was ripping? Sean.
Fell with one leg.
She fell with one leg up on SPG Cork. We were doing this drill, you know, half the boys lined up against the wall, you throw your hands up, and it was like a minute or something. And you take body shots off this one fella, but then you get your turn to reciprocate and you go on him. Yeah. But isn't he demented? Yeah, everyone else up there was like, how hard was he hitting me?
Yeah, he was belting.
Here, I was, but you I in my head I was like, I can't. Be like, oh no. And he kept being like, you grind. And I was like, yeah. And he was leathering me to the body. But is your point
that the training for fighting is not fun? Whereas football,
but that was not fun at all. But when I train football, I like it's so fun. Even running and shit, I enjoy that.
I do think as well though that like fighting had always like fight training always had this thing where you have to train hard, fight easy, you know. So push yourself, be uncomfortable. Whereas I think the footballers, it's also very different because I was
saying that it is a bit depressing sometimes. Yeah, it's depressing sometimes when you have an off night and you're shit. It's shit that way. But the training itself is never grueling.
But it would feel a lot less shit if you were getting 25 grand a week at the end of it. Oh. Do you know what I mean? Fair play to them. But again, gambling, big issue I think with footballers and with sports people in general, because they have, you know, nothing to do when they're not training, loads of money. The UFC Manchester time, which I was aware of for ages, and I think, Luke, you were saying last week, you were messaging saying we could watch it on the Saturday because it'll be on our time, and you weren't aware that it was on the US time zone.
Well, there was rumours months ago. But I just thought it was rumours.
No, I can't put emphasis on how upset I am.
Yeah.
Like, as in, I'm infuriated. Like, because the whole thing is, you'd say something if it was small in Europe. But it's obviously, now I understand your point when you said the pay-per-view points, Leon will want to do it. That makes a lot of sense. But how often do we fucking finally get a good card European times? Even the Saudi ones are only alright. There's never the big one.
So, unless Dana White or someone in the UFC comes out and explains, right, because it doesn't make sense to me that like the UFC London cards have always been on our time. The Middle East cards are always on kind of Middle East our time. I imagine unless they have a quota for like X amount of pay-per-views per year and they thought that was a better option than some other card that they wanted to do as a pay-per-view, because there must be some business reason behind it.
Yeah,
and I'd say of all people on the card, Leon doesn't give a fuck. I don't know if Aspinall's getting pay-per-view points because he's the interim champion.
Might be.
So he might be getting some.
But this is my whole point is, let's say for instance Leon is the deciding factor and he wants to do it later because he'll get more pay-per-view points because of the American time zone. That is fair enough for him. But if I was one of the lower tier English fighters who's not getting pay-per-view points, how annoyed are you going to be? Because okay, Leon has to fight really late, but at least he's getting paid way more for it. Whereas I'm just a Joe Schmo now who has to fight at 2 a.m. and I'm getting no points. Even fellas like Pimblett and stuff, they're going to be fighting at 2, 3 in the morning, but no points.
What would Dana White say?
Tough titty.
If you don't like it, get another job.
Of course, but this is where they are. Boys, if you're like, oh, finally, we're fighting in Manchester. Oh yeah, you're fighting at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, but like,
I'd be sickened.
Look, if you want to be the champ, you have to do whatever the UFC
if they're going to have to know,
they have the monopoly.
2-3 weeks before the fight, they're going to have to fuck themselves with their sleep. No, they're going to have to start. They're going to have to start staying up and
so
shit.
Leon Edwards had an interview with Aspinall, and Aspinall was saying to him like, oh, I heard you got a sleep coach and that, and Edwards was like, yeah, and Aspinall was like, oh, what kind of stuff has he been telling you? And then Leon Edwards basically told him the kind of protocol your man gave him, and Aspinall was like, oh, he was like, did you pay for that? And Leon was like, yeah, I did, yeah. And he was like, I was going to get one, but no, I don't need to. Thanks. Like, you know? I know, so, but like, look, they'll work around it. I imagine they'll make it work, and they'll fucking have a great fight in Manchester. I'm definitely not going to stay up for it though, because fuck that. No. Watch it the next day as always.
Because you know what, the one thing with the UFC London cards though, or the English cards, is even the prelims are always good. So I might watch the first few at like 10, 11 o'clock.
Do you want to pull up the card there for us, just the prelims, and see?
Of Manchester.
Yeah, just because we probably do another few minutes, but I want to just see.
We'll have to bunk the last
because
topic,
next week we're going to have to do like a preview of the card, but there'll probably be a lot of good fights that we want to talk about.
Yeah.
So it's good to have a look now and just see.
It's 3:04, isn't it?
Yeah. What date is it?
Because I have a bottle of Ballygowan every time we do a podcast. Ballygowan should sponsor us.
I never drink Ballygowan.
So main
I love
event.
Ballygowan.
Balvic.
I actually didn't know that's
Go to the prelims.
Just turn it there.
You go prelims.
Because we can go through the main card next week.
I don't like the way they have the structure of the card on the website.
They
Why?
don't break down
Show
the
me.
prelims.
They just do it as a list. See?
Yeah, I like the list.
To go to the bottom.
Why
I
do you
like
not
that
want the list?
I prefer I just want to see the picture. You know, the picture that they always do. I don't like having to.
They do the picture, but the list is for the ones who don't make the picture. Like, not everyone makes the picture.
Modestus Bukastis,
Sean
he's
O'Bannon's
coming
fighting.
Yeah, Sean is fighting on the card.
Go on, kid.
Matthias came back after that fucking horrible knee injury against your man what's his name? Roundtree. Remember he got the oblique kick.
Oh
Boom.
yeah, they were only talking about that last night in Drogan.
Did Sean O'Bannon lose her first
Yeah, I
UFC
think so,
fight? She
yeah.
did, yes.
She
Hopefully
did,
she gets in the winner's column here.
She
Fighting
lost
another
it.
Brazilian. She fought a
Go on.
Brazilian in her
Who's
first
next?
fight as well. Then we have Kiefer.
Kiefer's fighting as well, boys. We'll be able to watch them.
This is a good one because
I like Kiefer.
Kiefer's fighting Sam Patterson, and obviously Kiefer trains with Cian Cowley, who I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
He's an SPG, and Sam KO'd Cian in Brave years ago. So there's a bit of beef there as well.
Vengeance.
Bit of revenge for his
Whoa.
teammate.
How many is he? He has 2 fights in the UFC, isn't he, Kiefer? Or is it 1?
He had one in Australia, didn't he? I can't remember.
I know he definitely had 1 in Australia.
No, he was meant to have a second, but it got pulled last minute.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
He's on a loss, isn't
he lost.
Christian Leroy Duncan, he's a good knockout. Oh, that's a tough fight from though. Gregory Rodriguez.
Preston Parsons.
Boys, I love Oban Elliott. He's a legend.
Welch.
Did you see him in the Contender Series?
I think I know who you're on about. I think I've seen a clip of him.
Boys, he has some chin. The fella he was fighting, this Brazilian lad, was catching him with unbelievable shots.
Humdingers,
he just stuck it out by, and he won. I don't know, how did he win? He won by decision, but it was like a grind of a fight by.
Well, who's next?
So,
we'll go through it anyway next week.
yeah, but I think we'll go into more detail on the main card next week, and that was just very good undercard though, especially for the local fighters. Really, really interesting fights. Good to have 2 Irish fighters on the card as well.
Yeah, we'll come back next week and talk through it more in detail about who's fighting when, who's what.
Yeah.
We've also had a little leak of 306, but we'll go into that as well maybe.
Yeah.
I'm very excited after hearing it though.
Yeah. Right. All for the sphere.
Yeah, for the sphere card.
Right, boys, we're going to sign off.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for
Subscribe,
listening, boys.
like, share.
What was that? Episode 6?
Tag a friend, episode 7.
7? Fuck.
Tag a friend, tell your nan.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe. Thanks, boys and girls. Peace.
Bye.